want to post this video. I'm just making this video to just talk to myself basically. I don't care if my video gets any views or if it gets monetized. I don't care how my voice sounds. This is the new reality for me. This is something that I'm building without thinking. I was recently watching a video by Alicia Long, and he talked about a concept called Failuremaxxing, which just means that you stop overthinking about your next steps and you just act on intuition. You stop listening to podcasters, online gurus. You stop listening to outsiders, and you cut out all the noise around you and you just focus on yourself. So something really bad happened to me personally. I lost my Amazon KDP account. Unfortunately, I received a message yesterday that because I didn't verify my account before the deadline, they have terminated my account, and when I emailed them back, they refused to reinstate my account. And that felt like a major blow to my business, to what I was building. And I realized that relying on somebody else's platform, relying on Jeff Bezos to pay our bills is probably not the best idea. And I don't really know what I'm gonna do at this point. So many of my business ideas have failed, not because I wasn't putting in the effort, but because I was relying and depending on other platforms and on other people to help me out. And this whole experience has taught me that relying on others is just a fastest way to ensure that you fail. It's important to have independency, like creating my own website, and whatever that I'm going to sell, I should just sell it on my own website. Yes, it's going to be more inconvenient. It's harder to drive traffic to your own website. I'm gonna have to do fulfillment of orders and shipping and all that. I'll have to take care of that all by myself, which is a lot more work that Amazon would have done for me, because they integrated that into their system, but I have to do it all on my own. But for some reason, I have been very, very angry recently and just really upset with how things have been going. And I'm just at that point where I realized that I have to just stop thinking about it. When life fucks you over, getting upset about it is not going to do anything. You just learn to enjoy it. You just learn to enjoy being fucked in a weird way. That is the best advice that I've got today. And I think that that is the only way to not let bad things that happen in your life affect you. Is you just laugh at your own misfortunes. You just laugh at the bad things that happen. You just keep laughing at your failures, because if you don't laugh, the other option is to just fall into a depression and feel despair and just get into the negative thought cycles, and that isn't gonna make anything better. And it takes a lot of inner strength and courage to keep going despite failures. I have launched since I was 17. I'm 27 now, so for the last 10 years I have launched so many different kind of businesses. I used to do commission artwork. I used to draw portraits of people. That was when Instagram was really popular. It still is, but in 2017, Instagram was like peak, and I did that for about 2 years, and then in early 2020, my Instagram account was blocked, and I tried so hard to get it back. But these big corporations, they don't really care. They don't need you. They don't owe you anything, and so I just gave up on art completely for a while until about late 2021. This was still when in the pandemic, where I started a new Instagram account, and I decided to do a DIY home decor type of thing. Like, I used to make content about it, and I eventually was planning to turn this into a small business. I even had some people reach out to me and say, hey, we would really like you to create these DIY home decor pieces for us. I was really into the boho chic niche at the time, which is really popular. I still like it. And I think around 2022, that's when everything started opening up. Like, my university, I was having online classes. So I had my last semester in person after the pandemic was over. So my entire focus was on that, to do my thesis. And after that was over, I did a few commissions. I even had a gallery show, and I sold a few paintings that I made, which is really nice. And then I bought a new phone with the money that I made. And I think in late 2022, I decided that this time I'm gonna be really serious. I'm done playing games. I'm going to start a new business, and this time I'm going to take it very, very seriously. And I decided to start a doll making business where I create handmade dolls. And I had a friend at a time who was doing a handmade jewelry business on Instagram, and it was doing really well. She was making like, not like life-changing money, but she was making like good money from it. But the thing is, every time I would talk to her, we used to video chat a lot. So every time I used to talk to her on the phone, on the video chat, she would always be stressing and burned out and procrastinating, because it's really hard to mass produce handmade jewelry. Like, it's hard enough to make one handmade piece, but when you're getting so many orders and you still love your job, like, she loves doing the handmade jewelry business. She loves her craft. But when you're expected to produce like a machine, like you're working in a factory, when you're just one person, you're a one-woman show running a whole business. You're the filmmaker, you're the photographer, you're the storyteller, you're the content creator, you're the artist, you're fulfilling orders every day. Like, when you wear too many hats all at once, it really becomes so draining, and the thing that you used to love doing, you start to procrastinate on it. And I saw that if I went into the handmade doll making business like my friend, that is going to be my future. That even if I end up being successful at it, after a while I'm just gonna burn myself out. After a while I'm just gonna lose the excitement that comes with doing a business around a hobby that you really like. And so I decided, you know what, even if I become successful at it, I don't see myself being happy doing this long term. So I decided to ditch that idea altogether. And then in around March 2023, I decided that I needed a business idea that was easier to scale, but still gave me creative control, because that is very important to me. It's very important for me to have autonomy and to have creative freedom. So I decided to become a self-publisher. Since I'm an artist, I still wanted to do books that are related to art. I'm not somebody who can write really well, so doing high content books was out of the question. So I decided to lean into medium content books like coloring books because that allows me to still use my drawing skills and illustration skills, and I can still turn it into a profitable business that where I only have to focus on creation, and the back end stuff like shipping and fulfillment and printing my books is all going to be taken care of by Amazon. So I was really happy to finally find the thing that I can do without burning myself out, which is great. But I feel like a lot of artists don't really think about when they're starting a new business. So I did that, and I think in May 2023 I created my very first coloring book that I was really passionate about. I did the market research. I tried to make sure to create a coloring book in a niche that's not very saturated, that still has good competition but not like too oversaturated where to the point where I couldn't stand out. So I created my first coloring book called Monsters in the Closet. It's a horror coloring book which is still not very popular but not very oversaturated either. And in August of that year I posted my coloring book, and I started running some ads on it. I even promoted it a little bit on my social media channels. Unfortunately, another setback, my book ended up getting blocked for questionable or inappropriate content, which I didn't realize was going to happen because I made sure to not uh, to make sure that I was very careful with the terms and conditions and policy of Amazon. But that still ended up happening. But I made a few changes to the book, and in the next month I posted it again. And unfortunately, it did get me some sales, but it didn't do that well. So I just got really demoralized again. I was like, anything that I try, anything that I put a thought or effort into, it just doesn't work. So in early 2024 and onward, I was just completely hopeless. I did try to make more books, and I posted them that they didn't really do well because my heart really wasn't in it. Because the very first coloring book I made it with so much passion and so much energy, and I really put my heart and soul into it. And when that didn't do well, I just realized that maybe this isn't for me, and maybe I just need to stop over investing into what I do. I feel like I just put too much of myself into it, and I was too attached to the outcome, and I need to stop doing that. So I just ended up being completely depressed and demoralized until I think in September 2024 I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it another shot. So I started my TikTok account where I started posting about my coloring books that I was making. I did get a few sales from that, but nothing huge. And at this time I was also struggling with an eating disorder and a lot of mental health struggles, but I decided to push through it anyway, like all of it. And I was losing weight really, really fast until in April I got down to my lowest weight in April 2025, and I had to take a break. And I decided to start another TikTok account. Not really, I wasn't trying to start a business or trying to make money. I just did it to just sort of record my thoughts and what I was thinking, like just as a form of therapy, just thought dumping onto a bunch of strangers on TikTok. And funnily enough, that TikTok account started growing a little bit. Now I think I have 1,100 followers on it as like currently, and it started like a year ago. And I've just been neglected my Amazon account for a while, for about a year, until last month. I got an email from Amazon that they wanted to do like a routine check. That, they sent me an email. They said by 27 May, you have to show us your government issued ID card so we can verify your identity so you can continue your online business on KDP. Unfortunately, I didn't check my email and I didn't get to the deadline on time, and so I ended up getting my account terminated. And even though I tried really hard to get my account back, I'm not getting it back. And that is the entire 10-year history, you could say, as concise as possible. I try to summarize it as much as possible as to what has been going on and basically my story of so many failures. And I just feel like failure has become a constant part of my life. And I just have to keep going regardless. And I really have to reframe failure as redirection. I can't see it as, oh, it's over and I failed and I can never try anything new ever again. Even though I'm 27 years old now, and I've just been experimenting and trying new things and stuff for the last 10 years, since I was 17 years old. And I've just been trying and failing and testing and experimenting, and I'm not done. In fact, I feel like this is just the beginning. For some odd reason, the more failures I get, the more motivated I feel to just keep going. It's like failure is a sign that I'm doing something right, which is so weird. And I don't know how to explain this to people, but failure just means that I need to try something different. It doesn't mean that it's over and I just need to get a real job now. In fact, I can't get a real job. I've tried that too. I've made videos on it. You can check that on my channel. I think the title was something along the lines of I was rejected from 2 jobs because I'm being autistic. And regardless of all of that, I think I have put all my eggs in one basket, which is this all solopreneur online business thing, because that is the only option I feel like life has offered me. I tried doing the traditional job thing. I tried going down that path first. It didn't work out for me. So this is the only path that I've left, and I have only received failures over and over again. Now, if I think about it objectively and remove the emotions from it and just think about it rationally, why is it exactly why I failed? And it's not because I didn't try. It's not because I didn't have talent, that I didn't put time into it. The main thing is I relied on platforms that don't owe me anything. I relied on Instagram, I relied on Amazon, I relied on these big corporations to handle some part of the business for me. And they kicked me to the curb, basically. And it just made me realize that I cannot rely on these corporations anymore. I cannot rely on Amazon. I can't rely even on YouTube, ironically, but even though I'm still making content on it. It's like, it's inescapable. You have to get your start somewhere, especially if you're just a regular young person who doesn't have a lot of money. I could start my own website and build my business from there, but I still think that if you do not have social proof that your business is actually legit and it's working, you're just it's like paying rent in for an apartment that you don't even use. That's like building a website when you don't have a business up and running. It's really like. But that feels like it's gonna give me more autonomy, even though it will not allow me to make that much money. Like, it will be very difficult to scale my business, but that is the only option that I've left. And just try to be as less dependent on these corporations, on these huge oligarch businesses like Amazon, and to just be less and less reliant on it, and just try to build my own platform, try to build my own audience, and try to get organic trust from people. Because once you have that, even if you get banned from a platform, if you have an audience of people who believe in you and who trust you, then it doesn't really matter. You can start from zero over and over again, and you'll still be fine if you have that trust of people. And I think that is what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel. And I believe, despite all the failures, that if I keep trying, even though evidence suggests otherwise, if I'm delusional enough to just keep trying over and over again, that I will still make it. It may not look like what I pictured in my head. Success may not look like that, but it doesn't mean that I won't have it. The only caveat, the only, you could say, I forgot what the word is. The only condition is that you don't quit and you keep trying and you keep starting over. And I have to start over now because my platform where I was building my business got terminated. But I still have the coloring books that I made. I can still create my own website and host my coloring books somewhere else. My creativity and my work ethic and my art, those are still inside me. No platform can take that away from me. And that's all I need. All I need is a pen and a sketchbook and my ideas. And I truly believe I can create a life for myself with just those things. My brain is the biggest asset that I have. And this is the only thing that I need. Anyway, I try not to get too teary-eyed in this video. I hope you follow along on this journey. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next video.